Hello, my name is Ben Briley. I'm the founder of Thoughtful Leader, here to bring you another short, sharp piece of leadership advice. And this one is in the form of 3 great interview questions to ask people you're trying to hire into your team and organisation. Now, these aren't rocket science questions, but I really like them. They're not really the technical questions where you're talking about the actual parts of the role and how they'll actually use their skills to do the work. It's more about team fit and culture, which I'm looking for here, as well as an understanding of the role and an interest in the role. So the first question I love to ask is, if you were successful in this role, what are the first 3 things you would do? Now, the reason I like to ask this question is because it's quite general. Everyone can answer that question. There's no real wrong answer, but there are better answers than others. So interviews can be quite stressful. If you ask an open question like that, everyone can provide an answer, so they're not going to be so stressed and they'll be more relaxed. When you listen to their answer, it's a good idea to really take note of the focus that they have. If the first thing they say is, the first thing I do is work out how much leave I get a year and see how I can book leave. The second thing I do is work out where the best coffee shop is. And the third thing I would do is work out who could do some of my work for me. That's probably not a great answer, and it's probably not something you'll see, but it shows the focus, and it shows their level of proactivity and their understanding of what's involved in the role. So when they come in and say, the first thing I would do is I'd ask my teammates how things work around here. Okay, that's cool, because it means they're trying to share their knowledge and understand how the team works. The second thing I do is I'd identify the key people I need to talk to. And the third thing I do is I'd arrange meetings with one of the managers in that key area that I know of, that I need to talk to work with them and build a relationship. So those are good sort of answers. I love that question because it's so open-ended and people can start thinking of the future when they get the job. Some people have an attitude, candidates have an attitude of, I'm so desperate to get the job that I will just answer any question. I'm not really thinking about having the job. I'm actually just thinking of trying to be the best in the interview so that I can get the job. But I want them actually thinking about what the job involves and what they're going to do when they get there. And this question makes them think to the future. Okay, I've got the job, what do I do? And so you'll see different responses which will tell you the sort of things that those people are going to focus on. So that's a really good question. The second one is, what sort of team do you like to work in? And for this one, once again, quite open-ended, but I would look for answers like, well, I'd like to work in a collaborative team where everyone gets along really well and we share the workload. Maybe we're not too worried about helping each other out and doing different things that are not specifically in your role. So those sort of answers as well they give you an idea of whether the person will be a good fit for the team. For example, if the person said, well, I really just love working on my own, so I'd love to put my headphones on and sit in the corner. If that's not going to be good for your team, then that's great, because you'll know that in the interview. So that's another good question I like to ask, which sort of tells you 2 things. The first thing it tells you is what their preferences are, and the second thing it tells you is how you might need to manage them or get the best out of them. So that can be a really good question as well. And the third and final question I like to ask is, what do you think are the top 3 important factors to do well in this role? This is a good one because it helps them think more about the role and how they can use their skills to fit into it and do a good job. It also helps you to understand whether they know what the role is really about. So you're looking for answers like, well, I think communication skills with my stakeholders will be really important. I think attention to detail is going to be a massive skill to exceed in this role. And you can see whether they're thinking along the right lines and whether they have a good understanding of what the role actually involves. So those are 3 interesting and general interview questions I like to ask potential candidates in my teams because they are easily answerable by everybody. They're not specific to any particular role, so they can be used in any different situation. I'd encourage you to try those questions out for yourself. Leave a comment below. Tell me if you use them. Tell me what happens. Did they work? Did they not work? I'd love to hear your feedback on that and see what happens. And if you have any other great questions you'd like to ask, put them down below as well. Please subscribe to this channel and you can get videos like this every week. I will see you in the next one.